Yo, what up, Wolfpack? This is Blind Wolf, and we back at it again. I'd like to thank everybody that subscribed, like, share, comment on these videos. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. All right, come on, Wolfpack, let's go on this journey. Y'all know I lost my eyesight July 7, 2007, while I was in prison. But a few years before that, June 11th, 1999, I got shot 5 times in front of Crazy John's with my homeboy for something that I didn't even know why I was beefing or getting shot for. So I told y'all on the previous video what happened up until the point that I got into the ambulance. When I got into the ambulance, they finally put oxygen mask over my face, and they telling me to breathe, and they taught a whole bunch of medical stuff that I really, at this point, I'm really not understanding. I'm kind of like fading in and fading out. The only thing that's really keeping me, conscious is I got a picture of my son's face. It's like directly in front of my face, and I can't really focus in on anything else. So I'm kind of like focusing in on that. But I finally get into shock trauma. They instantly rush me into surgery, and as they're rushing me into surgery, I hear the anesthesiologist saying to me, as they're putting the mask over my face, to count from 100 backwards. So I counted to whatever number I counted to. I thought I counted to more than what they told me at the time, but I definitely didn't, so they say. And I woke up the next day. I had tubes up my nose, a tube down my throat, IVs everywhere. I had balloons on my feet. I had gloves on my hands, and they had my wrists tied to the rails of the bed so that I wouldn't jump up and rip the IVs and stuff out. They say that a lot of gunshot victims do that, and man, it was crazy. I woke up, and when I woke up, my entire family was there. And mind you, I didn't really deal with my entire family like that. The only people in my family that I really dealt with like that was my mother, my sisters, my nieces and my nephew, and my son. Other than that, I didn't even, and I knew my father. My father was a part of my life, and I wasn't beefing with him, like that back then, but I knew that he wasn't around like how my mother and my sisters was. But the rest of my family, I didn't know them like that. And I'm really mean, I did not know them like that. So I'm telling them, like, get out. I don't really want y'all around me like that. No way. I don't know y'all. What are y'all doing here? So my homeboys, a few of them, they were actually there, and I told them, get them on about it. I know that might seem wrong to y'all or whatever, but these people didn't know me when I was growing up. When me and my mother and my sisters was going through stuff, they didn't help me and my mothers and my mother and my sisters. My homeboys did. The people that I was around on a daily basis was the ones that was there making sure that if something happened with me, they were straight. I didn't know these people, literally. So I got a lot of anger in my heart towards this stuff because I've always thought to myself, why is it that everybody else got cousins, aunts, uncles, and stuff that they can go and they in their corner, and me and my sisters, we by ourselves. We by ourselves out here for real. And I ain't mad at that. I still did what I had to do to make sure that me and my sisters were straight, and I ain't gonna never be, not proud of the road that I had to go down to do these things for us. So getting back to what I was saying, got my homeboys to get them on up out of there. Before you know it, my mother was like, wow, that's crazy. You got your homeboys doing security and stuff for you. I said, listen, y'all know me. Y'all know me. I love y'all. And if I love you, I love you. I don't know them. I'd rather, y'all come and visit me. My homeboys be here. My baby mother, my son. That's all I need. That's all I need. I'm good. And once that started to happen, that was kind of like cool. But I did get a weird visit. My father and one of his homeboys, somebody that I actually was locked up with, and I'm gonna talk about him a little later on in some of these videos. My man Uncle Ray. Uncle Ray was a good dude for real. Uncle Ray came to the hospital with my father to visit me, and yeah, them were some strong old dudes. Them strong old dudes that came in there, and It really wasn't in there for no games, but they were definitely there to make sure that I was all right, and they wanted to find out who it was. But I never told them because I wanted to take care of my business on my own. And my father and Uncle Ray, they just looked at me and they smiled and they laughed. They like, "Sure, you crazy. You need to get yourself together and not worry about this type of stuff. Let us handle this." So I never told them anything. Never let them put themselves in no type of jeopardy over me. Um, but yeah, I went through a lot. I wanted to go and see my homeboy downstairs while he was on the fourth floor. I was on the sixth floor, and this is around the time where they first started teaching me how to walk again. And it was two male nurses. One would be on my right side, one would be on my left side, and they would wrap a sheet around me, and they would they would wrap two sheets. One would go in front, one would go in the back, and it crisscrossed. So they would hold me up, and they would walk me around the hallways and stuff for shock trauma. So I asked them to take me to go see my homeboy. When they took me down to go see my homeboy, I seen the craziest thing. It was a man sitting on a bed and he had a butcher knife just sitting out his head and he was just talking. It wasn't nobody right there, but he was just talking. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I get down there to my homeboy room. I get in there and his head is like the size of a super basketball. Like I've never seen a person's head that big. And I asked the nurse, I'm like, why is his head so big like this? So they telling me like the gunpowder residue then rose to the top of his head and it just swole it up. And man, like I'm just going through so much crazy stuff. So I sat down there and I talked to him for a few minutes. Then they got me back up there to my room. When I got back up there to my room, I couldn't do nothing but just sit there and be sad and think, man, I want to get these dudes that did this to me and my homeboy. But the whole time I still don't know why I went through this. I still don't know why I went through this. And I stayed down there shock trauma for 36 days, not knowing what I was shot for, not knowing what I was, potentially could have been taken away from my only child for. Because my homeboy, he unconscious. He's not able to tell me what they even were arguing about. Like this was so crazy to me, but this was an extremely difficult time in my life because I had to learn how to walk again. They told me I would never stand up straight again. I had 78 staples and 176 stitches going up my stomach. I caught a bullet, went through my wrist and broke my arm. My whole arm was like the size of my leg. These are the things that you go through when you out here and you playing around in these streets and you don't really know what you getting yourself involved in. You don't know you don't know the damage that a bullet is gonna do to you when it enters your body. You don't know the damage of a knife, what it's gonna do to you when it enters your body. You just know one thing for sure, two things, you're gonna be damaged. You're gonna be injured. And one thing for sure, this made me that much more focused when I kind of got myself together. It was more about money, less about games. I didn't have the laughing in me like that anymore. I was dead serious about making money and growing. But that was later on, and we'll talk about that stuff later on. But at this time, I'm just messed up. I'm sitting in a hospital with bullets all up in me for something I don't even know why. So we got to properly plan for our lives out here, y'all. Something I continuously want to get through your head. Proper planning prevents poor performance. If I'd have been out here working a job with that much tenacity, I would have been able to grow that much more, be that much more productive on a work site. But here I am, I'm risking my life for a block that's not going to be there for me 20 years down the road. That's not going to give me a pension plan. It's not going to give me, even a homegoing service if something happens to me. That's something my people's gonna have to come up with the money for. That's something I would have to come up for the money for. They're not gonna do that. The block is not gonna do this stuff for you. But we putting ourselves in situations where we can lose our life over the block, and I'm one of them, and I don't want y'all to be one of them. I almost lost my life for something that I still, to this point in the story, don't even know what I got shot for. Take your pain and turn it into purpose, the fuel that drives you forward. Don't ever let your pain be the reason that you stop going, because it's something to be learned in that. It's something to be learned in your pain. Like when you go out there and you lifting weights, they say tear and rebuild. That means something got to get messed up for it to get stronger. So whatever it is that you're going through and you think that it's painful, find a way to make that your fuel to turn you into something much better and much greater than what you ever would have thought that you could have been. Or if you think that you can be that, strive for it. Strive for it. Say, you know what, I went through, if I can go through this, oh, I can do this. If I went through that, I can get through there. It's all up to you. It's all up to me. And right now, I'm to the point where can't nothing take me back to these streets. Can't nothing make me say, you know what, I do what I gotta do. No, it ain't worth it. Because at the end of the day, when you laid up in a hospital bed, it's you that got to feel that pain. It's you that got to have these surgeries. If you go to prison, it's you that got to do that time. It's you that's going to lose your friendship. It's you that's not going to be able to cuddle with your woman. It's you that's not going to be able to talk to your kids. It's you that's not going to be able to open the refrigerator. It's you that's not going to be able to grab a remote control and flick the channel. Come on now. We want much better for ourselves out here. Stay strong. Know that y'all getting this love from the blind wolf. I don't want you inside them prison walls. I don't want y'all out there getting shot up and getting injured on these streets when you have so much more going on for you in your life. Shoot for your purpose. Shoot for your purpose. You can only reach your purpose moving forward. What we did back in the day ain't going to help us tomorrow. Because that stuff old and they know about that. Got to come up with something new, something better. So what we did back then, please, y'all stay away from that stuff. I'm living proof. 7 shots all together. I'm just telling y'all about 5. I got more coming to y'all. It's the Blind Wolf. Big love. Wolf.